It just might be the toughest competition in American road racing. TA2 in Trans Am, America's road racing series. Drivers in equally prepared, full-bodied American muscle machines. Once again, the championship fight comes down to the wire. Two-time series title holder Guy Robinson challenged by his teammate Shane Lewis. And defending champ Tony Buffomani has his Ford right in the mix. The TA2 class battle continues at Soggy Road America. Next. Welcome to Road America. We're at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for coverage of Trans Am presented by Pirelli, America's road racing series. Today, it's the Road America Muscle Car Challenge. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell joins me for the call in a moment. Ashley Van Dyke has our coverage today on Pit Road. You've heard of breakfast at Wimbledon? Well, this is breakfast at Road America. Early start to this race day for the TA2 stars. Wet weather could well be the storyline once again here. Do teams select the Pirelli rain tires for the first time this season, or do they go out on slicks? We'll find out in a couple of moments. Meantime, the defending series champion coming off a streak. He's trying to extend his win streak, in fact, to 3 in a row. Tony Buffomani from Illinois. He's standing by with Ashley.
Tony Buffomani sitting second in the championship standings, and you've kind of been on a hot streak, winning the last 2. Coming here to Road America, what's your strategy, and what do you think of this rain?
It's standard Wisconsin. It's going to be wet and wild out there for TA2. We had some rain last year, but the track was drying, and so we had multiple conditions that we had to deal with. But this looks like it's going to be pretty constant wet, so we'll see what the Best Line Lubricants 34 can do. We have been on a little bit of a hot streak, but you know, those other teams out there are pretty professional teams, and they're champions for a reason. So we got to come after them. We got to keep pushing, and then it's a long season, and hopefully we can keep scratching and clawing our way back in this thing.
Tony Buffomani, a tough customer to handle, Michael McDowell. 6 races to go in the championship. What better place to come and kick this stretch off than Road America? How about Guy Robinson with a 27-point lead now at TA2?
He's been dominant all year long, controlling the points lead, having solid runs, but Tony Buffomani is on a hot streak.
Buffomani needs a good day today. Another guy hoping for a good day today, former IndyCar competitor Jacques Lazier. He's joining the Texas Tool Traders team here at Road America. We talked to Jacques before the start about his decision to go Trans Am racing.
Well, I mean, obviously, first and foremost, the history behind Trans Am. It's an incredible series. My father used to race it, and obviously these American Thunder cars, the TA2, they're a lot of fun, a lot of real competitive driving out there, a lot of competitive cars. I think we have 29 here at Road America this weekend, so it's going to be just a great race.
A full field of competitors here, the regulars at TA2 that put on such a great show. Rafa Matos will run another event here for Doug Peterson's team. Justin Haley, who's on his way up the NASCAR ladder, along with Scott Legacy Jr., those drivers doing double duty in the Xfinity Series run. And Sheldon Creed, who's doing the same sort of thing from the off-road background. He may be a contender here today in the wet going.
Sliding around, he's used to that. It's going to be a fun race to watch.
So with damp conditions, do you pick rain tires? Here's Ashley with an update.
Rick, I've caught up with Orazio Mastracchio again down here at the Pirelli Tire North America tent, talking a little bit about these rain tires again, as it's been sprinkling this morning, and these TA2 machines may or may not need to throw on a set of these tires, though. What do they need to know?
Well, our rain tires are all designed the same. We have a directional tread pattern. As you can see, the pattern here goes downwards, and there's a lot of sipes. The sipes helps water evacuate from when it rains. So all the teams know that, they all have a set of rain tires, and it's the shoe to wear if it rains.
Well, we'll see what the call is for most of these TA2 teams. Still some mist, Michael McDowell. I'm hearing from teams in the paddock, this is a much better rain tire than what the series had used in previous seasons.
And you can see how much rain is falling on that windshield. And as a driver, the last thing you want to do is be on slick tires, dry tires in wet conditions. It can be treacherous. It can end your day. I would say most of these teams are going to be on the safe side and unload with these rain tires.
Well, Rafael Matos and Doug Peterson's 88 car, the three-dimensional services Chevrolet, our fast qualifier here this weekend, building on the success he had in Detroit and a strong run at Mid-Ohio a couple of weeks ago.
And this is the first time we've seen Matos had the opportunity to qualify. He's always come from the back of the pack. Now he's starting up front, showing lots of speed.
He can theoretically control the pace here at the 4-mile Road America, America's National Park of Motorsports. You won here, Michael McDowell. Take us around this place.
Such a scenic racetrack, long straightaways, heavy braking zones, elevation, but you have tight, technical, twisty corners as well. This track is tough in the dry, but in the wet, it is very treacherous, very slick, and for these drivers today, you're gonna have to find where the grip's at.
And if you're not starting up front, as we see trouble for Scott Lagasse Jr. here, the Screen Your Machine Chevrolet, the 17 car coming to pit road before the start. Jacques Lazier being sent to pit road as well. We'll see if these drivers will be able to start. If you're further back and there's mist, man, that's a problem.
Mist is a tough part for these drivers. The windshield's covered, but more than anything is when you're 3 or 4 rows back, you cannot see the cars in front of you. All you can see is the brake lights, and that's tough to handle in the start of this race.
Defrosting your windshield, believe it or not, also could be crucial here today because some rain is still falling at Road America. Green flag is in the air, underway for 100 miles. The Road America Muscle Car Challenge on CBS Sports Network. Matos in the yellow 88 has the advantage heading to 1.
Clean start, side-by-side racing, drivers searching for grip. What a great job, 3 wide on the exit. And you can see those cars sliding around trying to find grip. Right now the tires are cold, the brakes are cold. This is the time where you could really make a big mistake, and that could cost you the race.
Bufamati there in the blue, Best Line Lubricants 34, one of the Mike Cope racing cars. Here comes Lagasse in the 17. He gets cleared to join at the back of the field. We'll see how he does. Jacques Lazier coming off pit road as well in the 68. Cameron Lawrence extremely hungry after losing a podium finish due to a rules violation in Mid-Ohio. The red 19 car, he's pushing that thing hard here in the opening laps up to 4th.
And the rain is a great equalizer. We've heard it before. This is a driver's track. In these conditions, even more so. You got to be pinpoint accurate, finding grips, searching around. Matos is doing a great job right there. You see him running 2 or 3 feet offline, looking for that grip.
Good 3-way battle for position here. That's Sheldon Creed in the Speedlogix Dodge on board with Doug Peterson in the 87 car. Matos' teammate and team principal up behind Justin Haley there in the black 99, one of the Mike Cope cars. Up in front of those 3, Tom Sheehan in the 97. Meantime into the carousel. Robinson in the 74 is second, but Cameron Lawrence all over his decklet. Shane Lewis, the teammate to Robinson, right there in 4th.
Cameron Lawrence being very aggressive on this opening lap. Shane Lewis being the cagey veteran that he is, I think he's going to settle in. Watch where these guys are running. It's the first lap. Don't make any mistakes. Let the race come to you. It's going to change throughout the duration of this rain race. As you see all this mist and all this moisture, as these conditions change, Shane Lewis just wants to be in a position to pounce at the end.
Rain picking back up here at Road America. You can see the raindrops in some of the puddles around the racetrack. These Pirelli rain tires, all the drivers say they're terrific, a huge improvement, but you don't want to try standing water in these either, do you?
Well, we heard earlier in the show about the Pirelli tires moving a lot of water, but it's tough. These tires cannot go through standing water. The cars want a hydroplane. Cameron Lawrence working that extreme rain line on the outside, gets a good shot leading onto the straightaway.
Up the hill to complete lap number 1. Lawrence alongside Robinson. That's a fight for second. All of this benefiting Rafa Matos, who's taken the 88 car to a significant lead here in the early going.
A great drag race down the straightaway. You see how evenly matched these cars are, but heading into the break zone, Cameron Lawrence has the advantage with the rain.
Robinson on the inside in the 74, holding on to second. Lawrence, though, trying to take him off the corner, and he does. Cameron Lawrence makes the big move to second. Here comes Shane Lewis looking at the dive bomb. Decides that's maybe not the way to go on your teammate in the wet going. Probably a wise move. That's a veteran move to hang back there, isn't it?
It is a veteran move. We see Cameron Lawrence, he's being very aggressive, working that rain line really wide in the corners. Shane Lewis sizing up his teammate right now.
Michael, let me ask you this question. These are sprint races, 100 miles. They take a little over an hour to run. We'll see if we get the full 100 miles in today under the time limit that Trans Am operates with. But you've got to manage these tires, especially in the rain. You can't burn everything up here in the first few laps.
That's exactly right. You got to keep those tires underneath you just like you would a dry tire. The difference with the rain tires is as this track, if it does dry out, if the rain does slow down, as they build temperature, you can burn up a set of rain tires in a matter of laps. So you have to make sure that you're keeping enough moisture in them to keep them cool, but you're also getting the most out of the tire, and that's tough to do, and that's going to be where the veteran...
Oh, trouble. The 0-2, John Atwell. Hard spin off the corner. Big hit into the concrete and the tire barrier, and that will bring out undoubtedly a full course yellow. Looked like Atwell just got up on the rumble strip there.
As you get to the exit, you see that painted curb. The curbs do not have any grip in the rain. Not only that, but they hold moisture. If you get on that painted curb, it can spin the car out just like we saw right here.
We'll have another look at it for you. Is that maybe a matter of being on the gas too soon? Let's watch the 0-2.
He just gets wide on the exit. As soon as he picks up the throttle, the car steps out. You get on the brakes, but in the rain, the brakes don't do a whole lot. You hit that wet grass, and you cannot stop that car.
Good for Atwell. Certainly a soft wall there that was able to take most of the impact, but still a lot of damage to the 0-2 machine. Under caution for the first time today, Matos, your early leader over Lawrence, Robinson, Lewis, and Adam Andretti in fifth. We'll be back at Road America.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Three Dimensional Services Group. Prototype, production, proven. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Pirelli, power is nothing without control.
Welcome back to Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Trans Am on the CBS Sports Network. Before we got going today, problems for Jacques Lazier. Let's find out what happened to his machine. Here's Ashley.
Donnie Smith, we just saw the 68 of Lazier pull down into the pit lane right after the start of the green flag. What happened?
Well, we think we lost a valve or spark plug wires got burned in half or something. We got to go back and assess it and see what's going on.
This was his first race here with us. Are you guys going to be back with Lazier?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll be here. Yeah. He wants to do some more, maybe Watkins Glen or VIR. I think we're going to go to VIR for sure. So,
very much looking forward to seeing more of Jacques and Trans Am.
So Jacques Lazier unable to put a lap on the board here today. Meantime, safety car to pit road. Single file for the restart here at Road America. Green flag is back in the air after John Atwell's incident on the backside of this racetrack. So Matos by himself. Here comes Lawrence looking to the inside. Cameron Lawrence wants to put pressure on Matos here in the early going.
And we can see how much more mist there is at this point. The rain's still coming down. The conditions are getting worse and worse for these drivers. So under that yellow, without that moving water, it's a whole new track.
Sheldon Creed, meantime, in that green Speed Logix Dodge Challenger on the move early here in these wet conditions. Not afraid to throw that thing around sideways.
Sheldon Creed's got a lot of experience in all different types of motorsports. One of those being off-road. He's used to sliding around. He's used to having big horsepower and no traction in the rear. This is probably the conditions that is going to put him up front.
Look at how much the rain has picked up, at least in this part of the racetrack. Huge miss. Drivers back a little further in the field are going to have quite a problem. Creed up alongside Buffomani for fifth spot. Buffomani on the inside, able to hold on to the position. Creed up on the rumble strip there, keeps it straight. Lots of battles through the field. Doug Peterson in front of Lawrence Loshak there, and Tom Sheehan in the 97. There's Keith Proshuk. Looks like trouble for the 44 of Adam Andretti. He was up in the top 5 earlier. He slowed down a bit. Adam always quick at the start, sometimes has problems closing the deal. In the ECC 44, he is off the pace here.
It looks like he may have a mechanical problem. Right there, he pulled over to the side trying to get out of the way, as you see here. Not sure if something got wet. Under these conditions, not only is it tough for the drivers, it's tough on the cars. With all the electrical systems that you have, with the engine mapping system, all those things, if anything gets wet, if you get water in the air cleaner, all those things make a huge difference in the performance of the car, and it can create mechanical issues.
For the lead, meantime, Matos and Lawrence leaning on each other through the S's.
Not sure Matos saw Lawrence on his outside there. Obviously difficult to see from this onboard shot. Kind of ran him off the road.
Listen to Cameron as he blips the throttle, downshifts carefully. Now he's going to try Matos again here. Let's see what happens. No, he gets into Matos. Lawrence jacks up the 88 car and sends Matos for a ride into the concrete.
And where that happened, I'm not sure if Cameron Lawrence was being that aggressive or just could not see the back bumper of the 88. We saw from that onboard shot how difficult the visual was, but he ran him right over.
So Rafa Matos takes heavy damage into the 88 car. Lawrence's car bent up as well. He'll be able to stay on the racetrack, but that will damage the aero of the 19. And Trans Am stewards, I'm sure, will be looking at this one. Take another look at it. Coming off the corner, he just got into the back end of the 88 and pushed him off the racetrack.
And at that spot of the racetrack, you're hard into the gas, even under these conditions. It didn't look like he was trying to outbrake him or make a move, just ran right over him.
A hard hit for sure. We've got one more look at it for you from inside Lawrence's 19 car, Michael. What do you think?
It looks like these drivers have a disagreement.
They have a history together, no question. Adam Andretti on pit road as well, the ECC team. The Hendrickson group looking over the car. Adam not happy for sure. Meantime, this incident putting Guy Robinson, Shane Lewis, and Tony Buffamati in command up front with Sheldon Creed in fourth. We'll be back. Back at Road America, Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Coverage of TA2 of the Road America Muscle Car Challenge. Cameron Lawrence led a lap after the contact with Matos, but a stop-and-go penalty for jacking up the 88.
Obviously, the officials didn't agree with the move, thought that it needed a penalty, serving his penalty right now. If he's lucky, maybe he'll get a caution, get the tail in this field, and start his charge back to the front.
Four-way battle for the lead. Adam Andretti is out. Here's Ashley.
Caught up with Adam Andretti, stepped out of the car down here. Weather conditions clearly trouble for you here at Road America.
More like equipment. You know, we didn't have a proper way to clear the windshield. It's plain and simple. Didn't have a wiper on there, nothing defrosting anything, so I became flying blind, and it was really unfair to the rest of my competitors to be out there like that. The way too dangerous, and so discretion's a better part of valor to park it. I hate it. These are my conditions. This is where I thrive, and I feel like we gave something away.
The good thing, Rick, is Andretti did make it down into the pit lane safely with that car.
Thank you. Thanks.
Adam Andretti plenty frustrated. Meantime, Michael McDowell battling for the lead on the front stretch. Buffamati looking to the inside of Guy Robinson.
We've seen this time and time again, the quiet assassin stalking his prey, coming alongside Gar Robinson. Remember, these guys are battling for the championship lead as well.
Robinson with a 27-point advantage coming in. Buffamati hoping to win his third in a row in TA2 and chop into that lead. He's got the advantage by a fender as they come out of turn one.
Great side-by-side racing. Gar Robinson not giving him an inch.
But the fastest car right now might be the 11 of Sheldon Creed, that Speed Logic's Dodge, Michael McDowell. He's not afraid at all here in the wet going.
We talked about him earlier in the show, loving these conditions, not being afraid to slide these cars around. And as the leaders are battling side by side, it's a great opportunity to let those guys make a mistake, maybe get together and swing by both of them.
Robinson and Buffamati still side by side in these extremely wet conditions. They bang fenders going into the corner. Buffamati by a door. Up the hill. And Buffamati establishes the lead.
Great racing that we just saw there. They were side by side for almost a mile. Tony Buffamati ends up front though.
Justin Haley back there in fifth behind Shane Lewis. Guy Robinson says, hey, we're not done with this one yet. I'm going to stick right with you here. Remember, in the wet, you go offline. You don't run the typical dry line, do you?
That's right, and that's what makes passing so challenging, is that normally you'll just dive to the inside and try to outbrake somebody. Well, in these conditions, you really want to get to the outside of the driver, and when you think you have the preferred line, you're not there.
Buffamati using the outside to build his lead. Ilmor supplies the engines for a lot of these TA2 drivers and teams. We talked to Darren Dowding, Ilmor's Director of Operations, about how Ilmor integrates their motors with the AEM Infinity engine management system in TA2.
Each engine's calibrated between the specifications, so a Ford, Chevrolet has a different calibration. Typically the Chevrolet has a lot more lower down torque and then loses power towards the top end, and the Ford is the opposite. An electronic management system, there's a calibration that's locked in, so when the engine's developed and the speed and the technique of driving that engine is developed, then that calibration's locked and frozen. We have trackside support at every event. The guys are checking the engines are there. In some cases, we'll take some things out and check. Spark plugs sometimes seem to get changed for something that isn't quite what left the factory, but that's what our guys are here for.
So Ilmore and AEM Infinity working together to provide sound, reliable, and strong power for a lot of these TA2 teams. Meantime, a great battle for 14th here coming out of the front stretch, battling all over this racetrack. Chris Peterson in the 67, Matt Parent in the 14, and the 69 car. That's Sam LeConte, one of the Texas Tool Traders cars. Good nose-to-tail fight here up the front straightaway.
You see multiple lines, guys looking, trying to find where the moisture is, where the dry line is, and still we see a lot of mist coming off of these tires. The rain has not stopped here. It looks like this race will stay full wet throughout the duration.
Right behind those three, Bruce Nesbitt, the veteran out of Chicago, the Brakometer 50, that beautiful Mustang. He's right in the fight here for position as well. Peterson doing a nice job keeping that 67 straight. That's quite a handful in these conditions. Meantime, back to the front of the field, Shane Lewis taking a look to the inside of Creed for third. Looks like he's got him coming off the corner.
It's amazing to me under these tough conditions that we have so much fierce battling. Normally in these wet conditions, you'll have a guy just start to stretch that lead, clean windshield. Today we've seen these guys nose to tail, side by side, which is typically not something you see in the rain.
And that's a testimony to the talent here in TA2 and to these Pirelli rain tires. I mean, these rain tires have held up great here.
The Pirelli tires for sure, giving the drivers confidence under these conditions, allowing them to feel like they can brake deep, that they can get side by side, and you can see that on the racetrack.
Sheldon Creed up to fourth, and Joe Stevens Miller Dodge. The Speed Logic's 11 car, one of the best runs of the season for that group. Creed not doing the full year in TA2, loves these cars though. Thinks he's got a real chance here today. He gets back up alongside the 72. He gets third back.
High speed kink on the outside. You see him sliding that car off the corner. Very aggressive pass.
There's a look from Shane Lewis's viewpoint, what the conditions are like. Now the wiper's over in front of the driver, but that gives you a sense of just how much rain's falling right now.
It might be a little bit better for the driver, but that's about what you see. It's not a whole lot. You're trying to see in between the gap as the wiper is cleaning that windshield, but you still got dirt, you got grime, you got oil, you got grease, and those windshields just get worse and worse as the race goes on.
Justin Haley there doing a nice job in the Micro Lumen 99 car out of the Mike Cope stables in that Mustang. He sits fifth. Heading back to the final corner, 14 up onto the front stretch, and Creed all over the back end of Gar Robinson's machine.
Almost slide all the way out there. You can see him working that throttle.
Take one more look at what happened here a moment ago. A little debris. Looked like the wiper blew off of Kyle Marcelli's car.
And that's never good. Not with these conditions. It's going to be tough for him to see.
The 69, meantime, of Sam LeConte, the multi-building Texas Tool Traders Chevrolet. He's into the wall over on the backside of the racetrack. Hit the concrete there. As you said, Michael, knocked the taillights out of that car. Safety truck out on the racetrack. Local yellow waving there.
Wow, now that is difficult for a driver. The most important thing is being safe and making sure that you protect those guys that aren't wearing helmets, that don't have 5-point harnesses. And under these conditions, when you see that as a driver, you got to be very careful.
Sheldon Creed, meantime, not holding anything back here as he battles up alongside Gar Robinson for position. Here's Creed swinging to the inside of Robinson for second.
Creed is left, right, inside, outside, sliding that car around.
And the amazing thing to me is Michael McDowell, he's able to stay on the gas with the car loose.
He's showing a lot of car control. And in these conditions, you don't have to worry about wearing out those rain tires. It's so wet right now, that's not even a concern.
Robinson from his onboard. You see Creed going by on the inside. So Sheldon Creed onto the front straightaway has taken over second spot. There you see Gar Robinson's defroster hose. Meantime, safety crew on the scene collecting the car of Sam LeConte, whose day is done here at Road America. Tony Buffamati out in front. We'll be back.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Speedcom Communications. For 20 years, the world leader in motorsports radio and communications systems.
Welcome back to Road America. Glad to have you with us for coverage of the Road America Muscle Car Challenge. Teams really under a lot of pressure today in terms of radio communication. Speedcom, the official radio supplier for Trans Am for us as well. You've got to be able to talk to your driver on a day like this.
You got to be able to hear your crew, and you got to be able to communicate what that car's doing.
We provide the race teams with communication, troubleshooting, diagnostics, all that stuff. We usually show up with a trailer fully stocked with inventory of anything and everything that could possibly go wrong with communication. We're here to make sure everybody's stuff is working. At the drop of a hat, I will go run. I've been called to the grid before. Teams just getting ready to go out and the radio's not working, and our customer support is definitely, we put our customers first.
Speedcom with new digital technology this year, big help to the Trans Am Race Company of the series and also to us at Carolina's production group. Battling here, Cameron Lawrence trying to work his way back through the field after that penalty he was issued, the contact with Rafa Matos as they were fighting for the lead earlier. He works by Keith Proshuk now. Cameron Lawrence off into the gravel at the carousel.
And he's been hanging it out, trying to make up that deficit. You saw him running that extreme rain line, which is just a matter of inches between the edge of the racetrack and the gravel. Overstepped the boundary a little bit there.
Two drivers, meantime, overstepping the boundary. Tom Sheehan in the LTK Insulation 97. Doug Peterson, the former Trans Am champion, the three-dimensional services group 87. These two Chevrolets have gotten together in one of the sand traps. Sheehan able to fire his car up and back it back up onto the surface here. At least up onto asphalt. Sounds like he made contact with the fence there as well. He sure did. Wow. Let's take one more look here, see if we can see what happened. Sheehan to the inside, lost it. Collects Peterson, and they both go for a ride.
And what you can see early in the brake zone, he locked up the tires. Once those tires were locked up, came sliding in. Doug Peterson had no idea that car was flying down the inside. Heavy contact. Unfortunately, Doug Peterson, an innocent bystander in that accident.
Wow, two of our top Chevrolets end up in the gravel trap with heavy damage there. Tough one indeed. That shows you how challenging these wet weather conditions are. Up front, meantime, Sheldon Creed in the Dodge Challenger. Joe Stevens' Speed Logic 11 car trying to chase down the reigning Trans Am 2 champion, Tony Buffamati.
That's where this radio communication comes in. Tony Buffamati's had a big lead out front, not a lot of pressure. Now that Sheldon Creed is starting to reel in, the team's getting on the radio. All right, man, we're getting to the end. You got to give it everything you got. He's catching you, and Sheldon Creed can see it. He's got him in his sights, and that's what drivers turn up that wick.
Buffamati got the lead, built the lead. Now Creed appears to be a little quicker, but especially in the rain, Michael McDowell, getting to someone and passing them are two different things.
And we saw with Cameron Lawrence, you can push and make up a lot of time in the rain. You can get the car to the absolute limit, and you can start to make big gains. You make one tiny mistake, you slide off and your race is over. So it takes precision, it takes aggression, and you just have to be willing to lay it on the line, and we know that Creed is.
Up the front straightaway, Sheldon Creed trying to draw a bead on the race leader, Tony Buffamati. Running order top of your screen, courtesy of our friends at Three Dimensional Services Group and Pirelli Tires. Buffamati, the reigning TA2 champion, needs to close the gap on Gar Robinson. May have a great opportunity to do it here today. These two have separated themselves from Robinson and Shane Lewis. We'll be back with more at Road America. Tony Buffamati in command of the Road America Muscle Car Challenge at Elkhart Lake in Wisconsin. With Michael McDowell, I'm Rick Benjamin, Ashley Van Dyke on pit road and in the paddock for us all season long here today.
And we see Tony Buffamati stretching out that lead. He had some pressure from Creed, but now he's stretching those legs.
Meantime, Buffamati's teammate Lawrence Loshak and the Pennzoil ETE Reman Chevrolet up to 6th here onto the front straightaway. Pennzoil does a huge amount of activation at these events. We always love seeing the Pennzoil display. Before we got going here this weekend, Ashley had a chance to talk to Andy Clampert of Pennzoil about a new contest they're offering race fans.
We're so excited with Pennzoil. We travel around the United States, and we've been on like a 7-month tour, and everywhere we go, we get big fans, big racing fans. We have a virtual reality simulator here that the fans get to drive through the Baja Desert, which shows how our oil works in extreme heat conditions. So a lot of our stuff is based with Pennzoil to tell the fans all about our #1 oil. People love to change their own oil, and what we did is we made a game out of it, which is very ingenious. They love to come up here. We put 2 people up against each other. The fastest one to change their oil out is the winner. And the way it works is they have to drain their oil down here, Then, as the oil's draining, they have to reach over here, oops, and take their oil filter off. They have to tap down here, and they have to put their oil filter back on. And after they put their oil filter back on, as that's drained out, they gotta open up their engine, and they gotta take, this is the key now, they gotta take their Pennzoil oil and fill it up in here, and then they fill it up, don't forget that, they fill it up, they put their cap back on. The first one to do that and put their Pennzoil back down is the winner.
Lawrence Loshak hoping to emerge a winner here today. Lawrence on the simulator there. Lots of fun. For fourth, Shane Lewis. Justin Haley in the 99 challenging on the inside, may be able to get by here.
Side by side into the break zone. Shane Lewis has the preferred line, but Justin Haley drives it in deep and takes it away from him.
One thing you generally don't like to do, and all the times I've watched rain races, Michael, over the years, is go into a corner side by side in these conditions. Some drivers today have been willing to do it, not Shane Lewis.
TA2, that's what they do. They produce great racing. We see it whether it's dry, whether it's wet. It's side by side, it's intense, it's aggressive, and you see those cars sliding around, the drivers giving it everything they have.
Shane Lewis, meantime, right back at Haley. Matt Parent goes around in the 14 car coming out from under the Speedville Bridge. You see some unusual, and there's another car off. That looks like Kyle Marcelli's machine. Remember, Marcelli had the wiper go off his car earlier. Parent did a nice job there. Rookie contender from the Pacific Northwest kept that car off the fence.
Like we saw earlier in the race, into the brake zone, a little bit of wheel hop on the downshift and sent him right off the course.
And Keith Proshuk in the HP Tuners 9 car from the Cope Stables also off. Again, able to stop the car without hitting anything. He'll come back onto the racetrack. Here comes Cameron Lawrence, meantime. You made a note earlier, Michael McDowell, how much faster Lawrence has been, even with the body damage and the stop-and-go penalty, than anybody else.
Being very aggressive, pushing the car to the limit, running those extreme rain lines. We've seen him run off course a few times, but he is running 3, 4, 5, even 6 seconds a lap faster than some of his competition. He may need a little bit more time. Whoa!
Oh! Runs out of racetrack here. Coming down the straightaway to the right-hander, gets it back up on course, loses the position to Shane Lewis.
Those 5 or 6 seconds that he made up, he just gave back. And that's what can happen under these conditions. You can be so aggressive that you can make up time. One mistake, you can lose it all back.
Guy Robinson in the 74, leading Justin Haley in the 99 as they try to chase down the 2 leaders, Buffamati and Sheldon Creed. Coming up the hill towards start-finish. Laps are winding down well into the second half of this 100-mile battle. Lawrence has gotten back by Shane Lewis. Here's Haley, meantime, challenging Robinson now for third.
And you see Haley with that little bit of front damage, but also he does not have a windshield wiper on that car. Very tough to see. He's waited till the end here. He's making clean passes, and he's moving towards the front.
As much air as these cars move, I wouldn't think it would be enough to keep your windshield clean.
It's not enough, and if you have a car in front of you, you're getting that mist and that spray. But right now where he sits, having a clean front windshield, that's going to help him reel in that gap.
Haley in the Ford, the 99, the black and white machine, up to third in front of Robinson. Lawrence back up to fifth. He recovered from that off. Here's Loshak on pit road in the 5 car. Ashley Van Dyke is there.
Rick, Lawrence Loshak has that Pennzoil Camaro on pit lane with heavy grass on the front grille. And the car has stalled, but they will get him pushed and sent back out there. Looks like Lawrence had an off, Rick, and had to make a pit stop to clean up the front grille.
And you see during that pit stop, he was actually wiping the inside of the front windshield. Not sure if it fogged up and he just drove off.
Meantime, Cameron Lawrence on a mission here in the late laps. Lawrence whistling by Gar Robinson to pick up 4th spot as the sun pokes out for the first time today here at Road America.
Cameron Lawrence has been on a mission all day long. Unfortunately, he's had a penalty. He's had 2 offs that we've seen, but what he's had is tremendous amount of speed over his competition, and he is reeling these guys in fast.
Driving for a new team this year. No windshield wiper, it appears, on the 19. He gets up alongside Haley. Lawrence working that car as hard as possible in Ray Naveau's Class Auto Chevrolet. New team in Trans Am 2 this season. Cameron, a 2-time series champ, has won a TA race this year, driving for Jim Durhag. That was at Brainerd in Minnesota back on the 4th of July weekend. Lawrence moving by Haley, up into third now. You have to wonder what he would be able to do, possibly with Buffamati or with Sheldon Creed, if he hadn't had that contact with Matos and the penalty.
Definitely the penalty set him back really deep in this field, but he's had a lot of speed. He's had the opportunity to get back to the front, but the reason he's been able to do that, he's driving like a driver that has nothing to lose, laying it all on the line.
Buffamani, meantime, goes off. That may open the door for Creed. They both go way offline here. This is a battle for the lead in the late laps at Road America. Heading into the carousel, searching for wet ground to run on with these rain tires late in the action. Creed up alongside Buffamani for the lead.
And Creed set that up. He ran the high line of the carousel, got a straight shot off of it, able to pass him before entering the high-speed kink.
You talked about car control, the off-road experience. Sheldon Creed is from the same town as Jimmy Johnson, the 7-time NASCAR champion. Also from an off-road background, it really helps in these conditions. Sheldon Creed is your new leader in the Road America Muscle Car Challenge. Back at Elkhart Lake, Cameron Lawrence, having just raced his way to third, goes off once again, stays on the gas. That may open the door. Haley gets back by him.
We've seen this 3 times now. Cameron Lawrence on a mission, but can't keep his car on the racetrack.
One more look at it here.
And where Cameron Lawrence has been making speed is not giving himself a lot of room for error, running that very outside line. Just locked up that left front tire, and that's all it took. And to come back onto the racetrack, could have been contact right there. You see how close that was.
Justin Haley in the 99 getting by. Meantime, Sheldon Creed all by himself. Part-time this season for the Speed Logics team of Joe Stevens. He is on his way to a victory here in TA2 at Road America.
What a great drive he's had all day long. We've seen him really muscle that car, slide it around, using the rain line, making aggressive passes, but he hasn't gone off, and that's the key to winning these races. You got to be aggressive, but when you have mistakes like Cameron Lawrence has had today, at the end of the race, you're going to lose spots.
White flag will wave here over Creed and Tony Buffamani in second. Now, remember, Creed's not running for the championship. If you're Buffamani, he's probably thinking, hey, I've gotten points on Gar Robinson, my championship rival.
Well, any driver wants to win the race, and we saw Tony Buffamani lead a lot of this race, but he is in the championship fight. He is a champion, and he knows what he needs to do. Get as much points as he can on Gar Robinson. Right now, he's ahead of him, and that's what he needed today.
On board here with Buffamani on the final lap. He needs to keep it on the black here. Going off in the last lap could be just critical to his championship hopes. Meantime, Robinson and Shane Lewis a little further back as they fight for 5th among the 2 teammates. Hasn't been the best of days for the 74 Ranch Resort bunch. They'll have good finishes, it appears, but not able to contend for a win. That's rare for these 2.
Well, some drivers look at the rain and they go, this is it. This is my chance. I'm going to win this race. Other drivers might look at the rain and say, I don't need to go off. I don't need to crash. I need to score as many points as I can. And it feels like Gar's had that type of day. Stayed out of trouble, didn't have any mistakes, was up front early, but as the race has gone on, he's faded back, just sitting in the top 5.
With a 27-point lead coming in and still 6 races to go in the season, he can afford to give up a few markers here to Buffamani.
He can, and right now, that's exactly what he's thinking. Solid top 5, don't lose any points. You got a big lead. Today's not the day to make a mistake.
Meantime, a great day for young Sheldon Creed from California, from the off-road ranks, racing in ARCA, racing in the NASCAR Trucks and Xfinity and K&N Series. He comes to Trans Am on a limited schedule this year. He is the winner of the Road America Muscle Car Challenge today here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Great run for Creed in that Speed Logics United Reynolds 11 car. Buffamani, the defending series champ, will bring Mike Cope's Mustang home in 2nd spot. The Best Line Lubricants car. Good day today for Buffamani out of the Chicagoland area. Haley will cross the line in 3rd in the 99 car. And Cameron Lawrence will have to settle for 4th in the 19.
Trans Am on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Prototype, production, proven. By GoShare, your friend with a truck. And by Pirelli, power is nothing without control.
We always see great competition in TA2. The Road America Muscle Car Challenge, no different. Wild action all day. Our winner today from California, the youngster Sheldon Creed. He's with Ashley.
Sheldon Creed hopping out of his TA2 machine, the winner here at Road America. You just got the first win for your team, Stevens Miller Racing. Tell us about your race, Sheldon, and what went on out there today.
Yeah, I mean, they said it was going to rain on Friday when we first started practicing, and I was like, I hope it does. We struggled a little bit in the dry, so I knew if it rained, we'd have a really good shot at it. And just my dirt background, I knew we would be okay in the wet. And man, I had a good battle with Shane there for a while, with Gar, and I was just trying to settle in. Like, I knew we had a while, and the track changed so much. Like, the first couple laps, he was actually pretty hooked up, and then it got really slick, and then the rain stopped, and it actually got slicker once the rain stopped. So, no, you were always like moving around. I was behind Tony for a little bit, and he showed me a couple things, but man, that's rad. I didn't expect to be here, so just got to thank the whole Stevens Miller Racing crew. This is rad. Speed Logics, United Reynolds, Ambo Ortega, RTL, everyone that helps us out. Oakley Sunglasses, Sparko Suits. It's pretty cool to be here.
And you are the first race victor on these Pirelli rain tires. How did the tire handle for you? Clearly, really well.
Yeah, I mean, we got a little bit of rain practice in Mid-Ohio, but we were on slicks there, so I didn't know what to expect. You had to be really easy with the throttle, but I mean, the tires are good. I mean, it started to dry out there at the end. There's a lot of rubber left, so tires are awesome, and man, it's pretty cool to be here.
Congratulations. We'll let you and the team celebrate your first Trans Am victory.
Sheldon Creed learning from the veterans out there. A young guy, lots of car control, gets it in victory lane today.
He's got a huge upside, I think, in this sport. It'll be fun to watch him develop over the next many years. Bufamati gets second spot. Lawrence Loshak had to settle for 9th in front of Matt Parrott. A nice run to 10th. But one of the most exciting drives of the day, the one turned in by two-time champ Cameron Lawrence.
Cameron Lawrence, an up-and-down race. You got back up to 4th. Tell us what happened out there today.
Yeah, we had a really good start. The car was excellent. I think everybody else was just a little timid, and I knew these Pirelli rain tires were awesome tires. So I just went out there and, I mean, was running comfortable laps and could get up to anybody. I mean, we were working towards getting by Rafa, and he blocked me a bit, almost drove me off the road down the back straight, and then got a run on him out of a corner going into the kink. And just unfortunate, he lifted. As soon as I touched the brakes, I locked the fronts and got into the back of him and spun him around. So gave myself a bit of a penalty there, which really hurt us. Feel bad for the guys. Worked all the way back up to 3rd. With 2 to go, and then my brake bias got stuck forward and locked front tires, and turn 3 with 2 to go, and JJ got biased. So it was really up and down. A little bit of a mistake by me. We should have been prepped a little better, and I maybe a little bit too aggressive. Feel bad for Rafa, ruined both of our races, but it was just kind of a racing deal. We're both racing hard in the rain, and that's just what happens here. So, we've been on both ends of it now, so it's just the way things go. So we'll see. We'll get it fixed up and go to Watkins Glen and take it from there.
Thanks, Cameron.
Points race tightens up quite a bit. Bufamati gains some ground on Guy Robinson. Meantime, that early incident between Matos and Lawrence, we've heard Cameron's perspective. Let's find out what Rafa Matos has to say about the early contact.
Rafa Matos, you started on pole, looked really strong early on here, had some contact out there during the race. We just spoke with Cameron Lawrence. He said that he feels bad about what happened, but that it was a racing incident. Give us your comments on today's race, please.
It's not much to say. He deliberately took me out of the race. It's just a shame. He's a pro driver. He raced in this series for many years, and it should be a shame what he did, and he definitely deserved a black flag. I think a drive-through penalty was just too easy, too light for him. So it's a shame of him. My car is totally destroyed. We had a chance to win the race. I believe he was stronger, he was quicker. He just needed to take his time, and he was gonna overtake me anyway, so just really frustrated by that. The team did an amazing job. We were on pole by half a second, and just really gutted that our day ended like that.
An unfortunate result here for Rafa Matos, Rick.
Well, certainly unfortunate for Matos. He was fast in the dry. The rain proved his undoing.
Matos obviously upset, completely understand why. He just got run over and taken out of the race.
Great battles up front, though, and throughout the field all day long. Plenty of wild action as usual with TA2 here at Road America. For Michael McDowell, Ashley Van Dyke, I'm Rick Benjamin. We congratulate our winner, rookie Sheldon Creed. Thanks for watching Trans Am, presented by Pirelli.